Today we'll be doing the Azure DevOps manual testing class. Um, and today is going to be the last day of the class. And I'll be taking the Azure DevOps. So I'm just going to start the class by saying, as I said, is Azure DevOps. And these are the objectives of today. How is Azure DevOps used for manual testing? How to create a project on Azure DevOps? How to add test cases? How to move the ticket on the board? How to run the test? How to add the bug? The test plan, which how to view the progress report and also the test reports. So all this, you see it as, don't see it as is kind of so much that we've got to do. They are all together. With your attention and everyone listening carefully, we will be able to get this done within an hour. We should be done with all this. It's not much. I just listed all these points for us to know. So I'll just start the class by one to say, can everyone hear me? If just one person can say yes, I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you. So first I'll start by explaining just an insight of Azure DevOps. We are going to use it for manual testing, which this is manual testing class. Azure DevOps is just like a defect management tool, which we have been talking about in the previous class on manual testing. Defect management. So 2 words, defect management. So it's just like you recording all your defects, using it as a tool. It's a tool. Not to fear about using these big words or listening to these. Defect management tools, there are different ones. But if you know one defect management tool, you'll be able to operate every other defect management tool, regardless of you understanding or knowing it, because they've got the same principles. So the only thing are just different ways to do things. Well, you typing and writing your test cases, your tests, running your test, is all the same thing. So it's just the same format. So if you know one, you'll understand everything. As I said, Azure DevOps is just a defect management tool. And nowadays, this is what they're using in the market now, and most of the organizations are trying to migrate to Azure DevOps. So it's just an avenue for you. So as I'll be driving this class today, I'll be taking you from how to get it. And the thing you can do here is to get your hands on. It's an open source tool, so it's free. You can do the free edition and just start using it. Get an understanding of it and know how to do it. Once you're using the tool, you understand better with whatever tools you're using. So I'm just going to start with that, which I just want you to understand that Azure DevOps is a defect management tool. So we have other defect management tools like Jira, Trello, TFS, Team Foundation Server, MTM, Microsoft Test Manager is also a defect management tool. There are many others you can use as defect manager. Some use task manager. So it depends on the one you're using, but they all do similar things. So if you know one, you can actually operate others. So first is, let me just go to, as I said, you can get it online. Just go open a new tab. So I'm coming from here. Just go AZURE DevOps. This is one of it. You can just go. It tells you start free. But as I've said, I have various accounts here, so I'm just going to use one. If you don't have a Microsoft account, you can just create one, and that will take you to, you can use the Microsoft account to log in into here. So first, you get this kind of landing page. Because I've just created this test, I have to create a new account because I wanted to do the demo, so I did a new account. But first, on the slide, I said how to use AZURE DevOps for manual testing, and how to create a project on this DevOps. Now, if you look at this blue icon here, it says new project. New project. When you click on the new project, it will ask you project name. So this evening, I'll just give it a project name. Let me use testing manual. That's just what I'm going to use for the project today. Then I'll create it. Before I create it, it said, do I want public? So now, when I say public, anyone can view it on the internet. So as long as, why you make it public? For instance, you're working in an organization, you all have to access this project. It can be public for everyone to see. They can use it anyway. But today I'm making it private because I'm just using it within it's my own account, and I want to make it private. Then I create the project. You get this board now. So I've created this testing AZURE manual today. Now, if you go on this blue icon where it says AZURE DevOps, it takes you back to the board. So this is the project I've just created today. So that's how to create a new project. You go to the new project, you click on this icon. It asks you for a project name, you can put it. Description is not project name, you can see the asterisk. It is compulsory for you to do it. Description, if you wish to describe what the project is about, you can put it. If not, then you select the visibility type, whether you want to make it public or private. Once it's done, you can create it. Once you type a name here, anything here, the create button is enabled. Then you can see it. Then you can make it private and create it. So I can create several projects. If I click on this now, it will create it. And so if I click on it again, I'll create a new project. So you can create several ones. And that's why I said, just get it, hands-on, and learn a lot from it. So from this now, I'll navigate back to the DevOps page. This is the one I want to use, just for consistency basis and for us to understand. First, I'll just go through here. From this blue, you can see invite. Now, if I want to invite others, I can just go look for the user's email, put it, and add the email to it. Maybe just an email address, add whosoever I want to add on this. And I can add them on. So you can add as many people as you want to. Just invite them to the board. So that's why I said, once this board is created, it might be created by you or by anyone in the team. Once the board is created, you as a tester, we want to do manual testing on this. But before I start manual testing, I'll just give you just a quick overview of what you can see by this side, the left hand side, where it says testing Azure DevOps. This is it. It says overview. In the overview, you've got the summary of the whole project. So if I've given a description, you see this description inside in this box, but I didn't give any description. It says welcome to the project. So whatever I give there will be there. This is a dashboard, a normal dashboard. If you can actually configure the dashboard, whatever you want to show on the dashboard, you can add a widget to the dashboard, and these are the things you can add on it. Anything assigned to you can be added to it. Maybe you want to do a build history, you can add it to it. You can do a burn down chart if it's maybe a project manager. You can do a test plan on it. You can create a chart of test plan. Anything you want to configure on that can be done, and it can be deleted at any time. So now you can get down and delete everything if you want to. Then this is wiki. Number one, just how to create the project, which we are not interested in. Board. This is the board. We have just created this board. But I'm going to move just quickly because this board is the major thing we are going to use to write our test script. But I'm just going to, inside this board, we have work items, boards, backlog, sprint, queries. That's what we have in this board. If you move to the repo is a repository. This side is mainly used for all the commits. When I mean all your development work for this project, for this test Azure, if it's first Azure project or manual, anything that the developer has done, if an automation was done, is going to be stored in this repo. That is where we do all our automation stuff inside here. The developers use the same repo. Every one of us in the team use the same repo for this project. So if we refer back to this project, all the codes in it will be in this repo. I'll go to the pipeline. Pipeline, this is where you can create different environments where you can work on your release procedures, and everything, your libraries can be created in the pipeline. And also, we've got the test plan. In test plan, we have we've got test plans, we've got the progress reports, we've got the runs. So this is also part of what we are going to use for manual testing. Then the last one is the artifacts. It's also in conjunction with both the repo, the pipeline, all your artifacts are stored in the artifacts. So for today, when we're doing manual testing, and the only two places I'm going to be focusing on will be on the board and test plan. I'll come again for today's class, and I'll only be focusing on the board and test plan. And in previous classes that we have done, we worked on test cases. I'm not going to change anything on those test cases. The same test cases Patricia worked on is the same test cases I'm going to import now. So I'm just going to display the test case. Just in 1 minute. Let me share this Excel. Okay. Can you see the spreadsheet? Great. So this is the same test cases Patricia worked on the class when she was detailing about how to create test cases, the test condition, the test type. I'm not going to change any word. I'm just going to take this and put it in our test cases. That's the only I'm just copy paste. So it's the same thing you understand that I've done, that is done on this spreadsheet, is what I'm going to use here. So work item. this work item here is the work done by the whole team. So we've got the epic, we've got issues, we've got tasks. Can we have the example? We'll get that to you. It's part of the end part of the class. We are going to get that to you. We'll send the result to you. So in this work item, we've got user stories that is going to be added on this board. And in the work item, you'll be able to create each of your tasks there. But the first thing we want to do is go to the backlog. And in the backlog, we've got different items, different things to be tested in the sprint that we want to work on. They would have given us different stories and it will be added to the work item. So that's what we are going to do now. I'll go to the board, and on this board we have to do, doing, and done. First, I want to add a new item. So I'll navigate back to this spreadsheet. In this spreadsheet, she said that the test condition here is sign in with valid details. I'm just going to copy the same thing. I'll go back here, the new item. Let's use login. Login. That's our major story. We want to sign in into login. If you have seen, I've created an item for login. So I can create as many items I want to. I can create test item. You will see there. I can create as many items as I would like to. Now I've created login. In this login, if I take it out, if you go back into this login, you won't see anything. But if I move my cursor and I hover inside this login, I'll see these 3 dots. When I click on the 3 dots, it says open, edit test, move to iteration, add tags, add test, delete, new branches. So here we are doing manual testing. We want to add a test to it. So I'm just going to click on the add a test. And the test I want to do is Ctrl V because I've copied it. It says sign in with valid details. And I go out of it. My test is there. Also, if you navigate back, if I go back to the spreadsheet, it says sign in with invalid details. That's the second test. That's the second test condition that I'm taking. I'll copy the same thing. Go here. Not to forget, the add test is now here. I click on add test, Ctrl V. It tells me I've added another test, which is sign in with valid details, sign in with invalid details. Now, I've only added the test, but I've not added all the conditions, all the steps to it. I've not added all the steps to it. So I need to add these steps to it. So the first step is I should go to givetree.com. I'll copy and paste. That's the only thing we are doing because I already have it in Excel sheet. This sheet is what was used in the class. So I'm not writing anything, I'm not changing, and I'm not adding. So over here, I'll go here to this line here. If you look at it, if I hover over it, you can either go to these 3 dots. It tells me open. You go to open test. But if you don't want to do that, just click on the link here. It opens the whole test. Now it tells you steps. These are the steps. I said sign in with valid details. If you go back to here, This is condition. Sign in with valid details. This is my test step. Go to givetreat.com. So I'll go here. Over here, I'll add the test. The next thing is expected results. I'll go to expected results. I'll copy it. I'll put the expected results here. You can move it anytime. If you see, mine has changed, so I just want to move it closer, just for me to have it there. After you have finished the expected result, just enter. Press the enter key. It goes down. Go to the next line. So I'm just going to copy paste now. I'm not going to, so if you don't, I'm just copying what is here, and I'm going to paste it there. So another step, that's step 3 now. Same thing, it says enter user account. So same thing with the password. And the last one is sign in with the button, the sign in button. So that test case is completed now. If you look at it, I've got 5 steps here. If you go back to this, your first one is got 5 steps. So this is the test condition, that's the test step, and this is the expected results. Now, you go to the button here, it says save and close. I'm fine. I can save it and close. I can go back again, open the link. This is my test case there. So at this stage, you can do anything, you can edit, you can change anything there. So if I want to add something, maybe I want to add anything there, I can add it. It wants to add it, it will tell me to save, but we want to run this test now. So I'm going to delete it, and it will tell me save. I'll save it. So it's back. So now, this test is been added here. The next thing we want to do is that we want to run the test. After we run the test, we'll go to these 3 buttons here. And I'll explain to you what comes up in this pop-up. It says run a test. If I was running a test and maybe I was doing something and someone called me or I was called out, I want to pause the test. The test stays there and it shuts down. This resume test is enabled. Then the run test will be disabled. So it will just be that the arrow will be different. It will be grayed out. Resume test. Because I'm not running this test now, the resume test is grayed out. So I can't use this functionality now because I need to run this test. That's what it's telling me. If I click open, it opens this test case for me. So that's the function of that. Then I can edit. So at any phase, if I click edit, it will tell me edit. But I'm not editing now. Remove test. If I want to take out this test, I can remove it. If I want to reset to active, I can reset it. I'll show you that later. If I want to mark it as pass, fail, block test, no, not applicable, I can. So for now, we want to run the test. So I'll click on the run test. When I click on the run test, you see what's going to happen now. It comes up. There's something at the side that is for the run test. But before I'll do this run test, this is the run test pop-up to tell you that we've got 5 test cases there. So in these 5 test cases of our run test, so these are our run tests. So these are the 5 test cases. The thing I want to do now is to go to givetreat.com. because we want to run the test. So how you use this tool. So now this is our run test. So now you open the web, you open this. I can start by doing this, go to this account. So we have the page opened. I've done nothing there. So it's telling me now, the next thing I start with the run test. It says, go to givefreet.com. I'll type in here, www.givefreet.com. I'll press enter. When I press enter there, it says, after I've done that, go to this website. It says expected results. Givefreet landing page is displayed. Is it true, Yemi, that the Givefreet landing page is displayed? Yes, it's displayed because I can see Givefreet landing page here. This is Givefreet landing page, so I can see it. So I'll go here, I will open to say, when you open, you mark it, yes, this is pass. If it is fail, you say it's fail. Now you want to add a comment to it to say, oh, if you want to add maybe like an additional comment to say as expected, but you have marked it, it tells you that yes, this test is passed. If it is failed, it tells you no, it's failed. It opens a comment page and tells you, put the comment, what is the reason why it failed. But now it didn't fail. We have the landing page. I don't need to. But if you want to write an expected result, you can say yes. Expected result is landing Givefreet page displayed. So we go to the next one. It says click get started free button. Get started for free. That's it. I just need to, sorry, I need to log out so that it goes away. So when I click get started, it goes to this page for me. So now I'll tell you, it's gone there to tell me that get started. It now says enter username at test@test.com. It's because I'm displaying this. I have my own account, which is, this is my account, my test account. So I'm going to use my own test account. And I'll click enter. I'm saying Givefreet homepage now. Now I'll go there. So I've got Givefreet. You enter username, which I entered, enter password, I've entered password, and I click the sign in button, and that is done. So all this scenario, get started, enter username, I entered username as Yemi, my own login, and I entered my password as my password, and I entered sign in, I clicked on the sign in button, everything is fine. So if everything is fine, all these test cases here is green, which means everything passed. I can now click to say here. If you go over here, you can see this is the content, but it shows all the description. But here, just open here and click on this place. When you pull down and you expand, it tells you pass test, fail test, pause test, or block test. And this is, we've got the 5 of them, green. We have to pass the test because the test passed. It has done what I want it to do. Then I'll pass the test. So that ends the whole thing, and I'll save and close. Once I save and close, it goes, and that's the end of the manual test. I'll go back to the dashboard. If I come here to the board, it tells me I've got 2 tests here. At this test, you'll see a tank here, like a funnel. You just click on it. If you look at the test I've just run now, it says sign in with valid details. This test passed. Now, I'll go to invalid. I'm just going to be quick about it. It's the same test, and it's copy paste, please. Everything is just signing with valid details, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy the same script that you have. That same one. So just doing it just for us to have more time. So at this time now, I've done that for signing. So now I'll go again to this dot because I want to run the same test. I want to run my test. Now when I go here, I'll go click run the test. When I click on run test, it goes back, it shows me the pop-up. Now I go back to this page. Let me say this is my run test. If, for instance, in this first one, I want to fill, my intention in this one is that I want to fill this test. I know it's going to work as expected, but due to this test, we want to fill this test. So I decide to fill this test. This is fill. I have filled this test. It failed because landing page not displayed. Well, if I come here and I run it and it's fine, and I do this one, it's fine. It doesn't, because you already have one fill here. Definitely all this test is filled. Now, where it is filled here, I need someone can come into my test and say, oh, you said this field. Why is this test field? Why did it say it's filled? I need a picture, which is a screenshot for me to know that yes, this test field. Over here, there is a capture button. Here, they call it capture. It's just for, if you click on it, it's a capture button. So you need to install it because I've got new screen. So, but it's not installed. I don't have it installed because I'm using free edition. I need to go through a lot. But if you are using the paid one for it, you get installed and you can install it at work. But if you don't have this installed version, it doesn't stop anything. Everybody's tool, everybody's laptop is configured with a snipping tool. Snipping tool. This is snipping tool. So if I go to my desktop here, I can just type snipping tool, snipping tool. It gets me out. So also it's click on new with the snipping tool, and I cut this. I can copy, I can save it somewhere on my desktop. When I save it somewhere, I'll go back to where I am running my test. While you're running your test and you come down here, when you go to the 3 dots there, it says attach, add an attachment. You can add your attachment. So now I'll go to browse my, wherever I've done it, I've got pictures somewhere. So I'll just put it there. So I've added an attachment. So at any phase, once anyone goes in there, you can see the reason why I said it failed. And you'll see the error there. And that shows it. I save, and that is, I'll go back to the board. If you look at the board now, it's shown 2 tests, which means on this board, this test is failed. So one of them passed, the other one failed. So this is how you can use it to run your test at any time you want to do it. So the first thing is add a new item. When you add a new item, XYZ, you can add it. When you add the item, go to this place, add a test, add any of the tests, save it, go back to this button, look for it, and run the test. Once you click on run the test, this pop-up comes in. Go to the website you want to run the test, hold your stuff, start reading each of the tests. Once you finish, save and close if you need a screenshot. But I always advise, even if your test passed, take an end screenshot to show that, yes, I landed on that page. Add it to your test script. You must finish testing now, and in split of second, that test type, the website might crash. If you are asked as a tester, did you test this? Yes, I did. You don't need to say any story. This is my picture. No one would tell you that, oh, really, she took a screenshot, which means something happened. They need to figure, which the developer needs to figure, or you yourself, or it might come out. Maybe it could be a 404. Anything can happen at any time. So, and a screenshot is always advisable to be attached to any of the story, either valid or invalid. Just put a screenshot there to show that, yes, you've completed the test. After that, if you go to the backlog, all the tests you have created comes to the backlog. Remember, I added my new items from the board. I'm going to the backlogs now. In the backlogs, this is test, one of the test cases I added. Login is the test case which we added, and that is login for you. And this is the other test. Also, in the work item, you will see all the tests, how I executed it, and what is in it, and what was detailed. So that's what is on the work item. So your major thing is starting from the board. You start from the board. Once all these are in sync, they work hand in hand. So the board feeds when I go to the board, I add my new item. The work item will say, oh, who came on this board? It picks its own. The backup does its own. The sprint will check, do I have anything relevant on the board? I'll pick it too. So that's the way they all navigate to just get to each other. So when I go to the backlog, I get the same test there. I go to the sprint. You will see these are all the sprints. So if I want it to be in any of the sprints, this is in sprint 1. I can say I want to add a new sprint. So if I add a new sprint, sprint 2. Sprint 2, I want it to start today. Today 11, and I want it to end on the 16th. So it's in sprint 2. So I've created the sprint. So if now I want to go back, I can navigate back to sprint 1. I'm back to sprint 1. Queries. I will tell you what the query is used for when I go today. So I've created my work item in the backlog and on the board, and I've run the test. So now I'm going to go back. I said in this manual test class, for you to use this Azure DevOps, just 2 things we are looking at, the board and the test plan. Now I'm going to the test plan. For the test plan, if you go to this test plan here, you need to, we want to go to, maybe we want to view our report and to see how we can configure, oh, this is my report, this is my test suite, this is the test I run, and this is what I have. There are different ways to configure this. So the first thing is go to this test plan here. So all the tests we did today is only one test that passed. So I will, so this is my test. This is the test run before I go to the test run. So for the test run, I completed this test. which shows that yes, this test was passed 100%. The other one, it needs investigation because I wasn't able to log in. So it will tell me what investigation it is. This test run, you can also run your test there if it's configured. So you can run your test there. So at this phase, it shows me an outcome. This is the test that failed, just one, because I have actually configured this outcome. So now go back to view report. So in the test plan, what is embedded in the test plan are your tests, all your tests that you have run, and also all the tests that you have in this board, on this board, is meant to be in your test plan. Okay. So test plan. So I'll go to this testing project. So all the things you have in your backlog, these are all the things I have in my backlog. And after you've finished all this in the backlog, I'll go straight to the test plan. In the test plan, I've got 3 tests there. I've got login, I've got register, and I've got add an item. Those are the tests I have. So once you have this test in your test plan, you navigate to the chart. In this chart, I can choose to add anything in each of the tests. So in this test, for the login, I have 2 tests in the login. So I might want to choose anyhow I want to add the chart. So if I want to add in my chart, I'll go to click on the new. First, this is the login. These are the scenarios I added in my login. And in this login, I've got 2 scenarios. One passed, one I put it as blocked. From the test, I move from execute to the chart. In the chart, you can add different type of charts. This chart is just for you to be able to view your test. Some people like graphical charts, just for them to see how the test cases have moved. Out of 2 or out of 5 test cases, how many percentage pass, how many failed. The green, the red, they want to see it. So it looks beautiful. Some people like you. It's kind of good as a test report to show whenever you finish up your test. So the next thing is add. You can either add it to the test case or you can add it to the test result. So if I add one to the test case, it asks me different chart type. It can either be a pie chart, a pie, a bar. So let me just fill this activated by me. So if it's a pie, you add this kind. If it's a bar chart, you add that. If it's a column, you add that. If I choose this stack bar, I can, if I choose a bar board, so I just need to put each of anyone I want to. I can choose it. So this one, I'm choosing a column. I can add it. Once I click on add, it goes back to the board. And here, I can add this column here. So if I do that to each of the tests, I can do it to any one of them. I can add it to this item. Now we have this whole suite. Close it. I don't have it. In this test plan, I have this suite. So it gives me a general one to say, this is the chart. I have 4 tests. Because I've added tests in those tests. I've told you it's copy paste of all the tests that you had in the previous class. I'm just showing you how to run it here and configure a chart. So in this chart, I've got 4 tests there. 2 passed, 1 failed, and I blocked 1. I just blocked it and I just filled that 1. If I don't want to use this, I can add maybe a test result chart and use again and do maybe I need an outcome. So this is outcome based, pass, fail is written in there. If I want a column, I can add it and I'll just say okay. If I move down to this chart, this is what I've added. So it tells me 2 passed, 1 failed, and 1 blocked. With this, you can just create a test report to say, I've tested all my manual testing. This is what it is. And you put all the screenshots in a report, and you don't need to say much. Put it, total number of test cases, 4, total number passed, 2, in the 2, make it a percentage, 50% of it, total number failed in percentage, 25%, total number blocked in percentage, 25%. Add them together, that gives you 100%. So once it is stated clearly there, no more questions, nothing. It's black and white and people can see it. So that's the way to view a test report. So a progress report also is likewise the same thing, just the same chart, but it just shows you, like I said, 50% of it, total number run is 4 test cases, and 50% of it are green, which is 2/3 of it. So now that's where it comes to you as a tester to decide, do I want this to go live? Yes. Do you want it? Why do you want it? 50% of it passed. Is it the company policy? No, 75 to 80% should pass. So from this view, you can see that yes, it can go. And you have to check, is it critical or is not critical bug? If it is, let's decide by the team, how do they want to fix it and work on them. And also, you can also run a test from here. So these are one of the tests. If I choose to run it, I can click on any one of the tests, run test. So it gives me, and it comes up here. I have that test run. So that's it with manual testing. So I'll go back to the slide. Please prepare your question from the beginning of the class to this very time. But I'll first take from this class. Then before I hand over, because I said it's not something much, I said how to use DevOps. How is Azure DevOps used for manual testing, which that's what I've been showing all through. How to create a project, I did that. How to add test cases, yes. So how to move the tickets on the board. So I'll go back to this board. Not to forget, I'm on the board. I'm going back to the board. This is the board. So let me take this back. So now, all tickets, both for the developer, both for the analyst, for the project manager, for whosoever to do a thing in this project, to work on this project, you have all the tickets in the to-do. Now, not to mind about whatever you have in my screen here that says in progress, done, close. Some boards could be QA, dev, close, done. It could be titled it depends on whoever created the board. So with that, you will follow the title to be able to move. Now, I started with login. With the login, I can move the login because I'm the one working on the login. So I've moved the login. Let me take it back. So the only thing is, go to this. Go to the one you want to work on. This is to do. I want to work on this login. On the login, I'll move the login. Just hold down your key and move it to in progress. That's how to move it to in progress. After it's done, I can move it to done. And when I finish done, I can move it to closed. It's done. So that's the way you can move the ticket. But before you can move a ticket to done, all the criteria must have been met. Your test has been run, added screenshots, it has been approved, you finished everything, and it has passed, then it is done. Then when it is live and you have done everything, the codes are completed and is finished, then if we choose, maybe at the end of the sprint, we'll take all the tickets to close, just to make sure that yes, we finished all the tickets. I can pick up a ticket, so the journey of the ticket starts from to do. So when I'm working on this, maybe it takes me to, 1 day, it takes me a day or 48 hours, 2 days to finish it. When I finish, after adding my comments, writing, then I move it to in progress. After in progress, I can move it to done. I've added the screenshot, is working as expected, is run. From there, I move it to done. So that's the way to move a ticket on the board. Also, to run a test, I've done that. How to add the board here. So now, let me explain to you, because you might be playing with these DevOps. I'll tell you to get your hands on it, because with the free edition, you might not get a lot of things that is meant to be configured, because you need to pay for some stuff. But when you're working with it, while you're in an organization and you're working with Azure DevOps, you'll have it configured. Everything would have been configured, then you can do it from the scratch. It might have been configured. The only thing you just need, add your test case, go to your test script, add the charts, and you get your report. That's the only thing. You might not be the one to create the board. But if you are in a greenfield, maybe a new project, you are the one part of the leading team, they can just tell you, oh, create this. You have created the project, you have added it, you have invited people, then you can start creating this. So once that is done, it's just how to add the box. So I'm going to use an account. I'm just switching an account. So in this, I'll just go first to any one of the projects, my first project. So in this project, no, I'm looking for spec. Yeah. So I just want to show you how to add the bug in each of these. Show it. Main project board. So now in the board, you've got a board, and there you have backlog. It will ask you in this backlog or the sprint. So as I said earlier, you can see with this is another view of Azure DevOps. It has work item, board, black, screen, square, retrospective, scrum. So it depends on what you want to add to the board. You can add anything to it. So, but for your own view, once you have it, is what you need it for, you are going to use it for. So we are just using it for manual testing. So Scrum reports, maybe a Scrum Master is using it. Retrospective is by Scrum Master. Estimation is by Scrum Master. So anyone using it can add his own on it. You too can go to test plan and add whatever you want to. Maybe you are doing load test, you are doing all that, you can add it to it. So that is all about that. So I will just go back again, sorry, to the button. So I'll go back to my account. Where's the information? Sign out. So I'm just logging into another. I'm just showing you different ones so that you can. This are just a tool for you to use at any time. So please, at any time, please, can you type in your questions if you've got any questions, please? I'm just going to take questions. And any question from the beginning, for today, one, and from the beginning of the class. Any questions, please just type it in, because I've just got 5 minutes left, and I'm done with Azure DevOps. So every other thing is you testing and trying it out yourself. Any questions, please? So let me start from the beginning, if I'm not me. Can we have the example? I said yes, we can. In a case, one of the test field, what will you choose? Yes, if any one of the test fields, the thing you have to choose, one is filled when you're running a test, automatically that test is filled because it hasn't met the criteria. So it's just like you're going on and you were told to enter password and you couldn't enter password. Then it is filled because you can't enter the password. There's no password field. So you have to choose the word fill for it as at the time you're working on it. So once in case of one of the test field, you can choose any one of them. You have to choose that is filled. In test reel, X-ray, etc., you need to create a test execution first and then add your test to the test execution. Then tests are executed and recorded in execution. It's the same process. If you have an idea of test rate, to be honest, it's the same process, but it's not test execution. Now I'm going from the board. I created a new item. From there, I added my test case. So instead of you to create, as you have said, from what you have used in test reel, you said that the first thing is you add create a test execution. Now, if there's a new item, I have created a new item called login. And when I created a new item called login, and then I added my test cases into it, so which is my sign up with valid details, sign up with invalid details, then I can do it. I can also record, you can also record with this. Then it says, is the bot to show visibility of tasks being carried out? Yes, the bot shows visibility of the tasks being carried out. That's the essence of the bot, just for us to know what we are doing for that sprint. So when all the tasks are put in place, as you're moving it, everyone can see it. So if you say it's in progress, when the bot is opened by anyone that is invited into that project, they will see the status of the tickets of each of the tickets of each of the tasks. Is the test plan for just chat, summary, and test carried out, or to prepare actual test plan? It's for test, chat, running it, executing. Majorly, that is what the test is used for. I tried registering for Azure free account. Microsoft it requires for a credit validation. Is that no? Do you have if you have a Microsoft account, you have to have a Microsoft account. So have a Microsoft account first, then log in. You first create, don't go to Azure, you create a Microsoft account, then you'll be able to. How to raise the bug? I'm going to show you that now. Does Azure DevOps have functionality to link upload directly? Yes, it does. And I'll show you now from your Excel. No, from Excel to Azure without manual input. No, no, you have to copy it. That's the reason. And we are not doing it. I'm doing this because you won't write it on an Excel sheet. The reason why you're doing it on a tool is because when you do it on the DevOps, the Azure DevOps, it is stored there. No, with the Excel sheet, you need to be sending it around to tell people, oh, this is what I have worked on. But with this Azure DevOps, with the tool, you have it already. Everyone can see what you are doing. That's the essence of it. You don't need, so by that time, you are not writing into a spreadsheet. You are copying directly into it. Maybe there will be a script that you can run to do that. But for now, I do a copy and paste to do it. Sorry, I'm just reading what, okay, I tried registering those from the manual input. What are the other test tools that are commonly used? Other test tools commonly used, as I said initially, are Jira, some use Trello, TFS, Team Foundation Server, MTM, Microsoft Test Manager. Those are some of the test tools. Is the tester doing all these setting of the BA? That's why I said that most of the time you would have, if you're working, this project must have been created. I'm just doing it that from the scratch in case you are told to do. But most of the time it's done either by the Scrum Master, Project Manager. A BA2 can do it. So once they do it, they invite you into the project. So now they are working on project A. We want to start project A. This is my role. I'm the PM or the Scrum Master. I'm going to create the board. I will invite you all. So when they invite you, you don't need any other thing. Yours is to hit the ground running and start adding your own inputs into it. Is the work of a tester to debug software and fix the errors identified? It depends. If it's something you can, I don't want to say no, yes or no. If you can fix it, fine. If you know about coding and you can fix it, fine. You can do it. But for you to say, is the work to debug software and fix the error, is the work of a tester is to debug, to find the error. So you are debugging it, you are looking for the error, and to fix it now depends on how it is. When you mean fixing, what are the things that to be done? Then any error found that you cannot, is going to be done by the developer. So it's not going to be done by you. Can this tool be used for automation testing and mobile? Yes, it can be used, and that is where that repo is. When you see the repo that I first introduced initially, that are where all your codes go in for this project, for when you're doing your automation testing. So now, let's say we are doing manual testing, because even if you're doing automation, if you tested or validated anything manually, and you want to keep the record, so that in case anyone go back to that project, you can see the steps you used in it, then you have to actually go in and write it. Then when you do the manual bit of it, then automation, you continue with it. Everything goes into the repo. You have a pipeline running each of them. So yeah. So can we, okay, are those tests reusable? Yes, those tests are reusable. They can be, you can, for example, for regression tests, yes, because you can use them for regression test. It depends on how you wrote your test. If you write an high level or a regression pack sheet that you want to use, yes, that's fine. You can use it. You can use it as a regression test. So it depends on what you have in the test. The process you test with valid and invalid details is called what? The process you test with valid. Yes, those are the scenarios. So now I'm testing with valid and invalid details. They are just a scenario. So the major feature I'm working on is a login feature. And login feature, what do I want to do in the login? My aim is to be able to log in. So my valid is I can log in. Yes, you saw that. Yes, I was able to log in. My invalid, if I cannot log in, if I put in wrong details, I should not be allowed to log in. So yes, is a test scenario, and each of those steps, those ones are called test steps. Okay. So in the absence of none, okay, let me just show the last slide of the bug. Then we've got an assignment for you, which I'm going to hand over to Patricia very soon. So in the assignment, she will explain what to do, and this is a yardstick for you to be able to come into internship. So please, any question you have now, I'm sure everyone can create, you can do. So, okay, when you mean a test scenario, so now what is the scenario I'm working on now? I said login is one of the features, one of the feature, that's the feature we want to work on. So what is my scenario? I want to be able to sign in. That's my scenario. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I want to, that's the scenario. What do you want to do now? I want to be able to sign in. So what is the process that I want to use to sign in? Those are where I put in my cases just to see, oh, do this. These are the things I want to do. So that's just what I say. So it says, what are the difference between test script and test cases? If you look at this place, this is a script. The reason why I said it's a script, Patricia ran all this in the last class. So we have the expected result, we have the actual result, and we have the status. So which shows that yes, all this test passed is a script. But if I don't have, if I only write the test condition up to the expected, I've not run this test. So those are these called test cases. But when you execute it, it's a script. I am running a script. I've executed my test script. So that's the difference between. Can you please add the download link? No, yes, for someone else, yes, the admin has sent it already. So you can just go there and click on the log. So the email, yeah, more of like, yes. So they are just like, yes, text test and yes, and so 1 minute. Okay, what else am I looking at? You don't download the link. Yeah. So you can be looking with those having issue with download. I think the admin is actually working on that. So in the absence of no question, I'm just going to add the last one, which is the bug. And to add the bug is, if I've got it in my slide here, and that's the test report. Run a test. Yeah. No, that's the same. So something we did an idea. Okay. So hopefully I'm able to log in back. Yeah. So that's the testing. So as I've initially said, any other question, add items, user, so valid, back to work item. Please, if you play with it, you can actually get to see, I think filter is another thing I want to, okay. Okay, so now I'm just going to, before I do the book, I'll just show you. This is to run. Sometimes after you're finished, you need to show that yes, these are you want to add some of the test cases to see these are the ones I run. And here I'm just going to add a filter. In this add a filter, it said created this. These are all the things we have done today, and this is what I've added. So the only thing I need to do is to add a new clause. In this clause, you can choose anything you want to. Like now, I can use this ID. Let me use run ID as one of the field that I want to look for. Let me use our run ID. If I say run ID is equals to 22, let me say the value is 22, and I click on this is a run button, and I run it. It shows me this same one. It shows me this same thing that I have done here in this filter. This same filter here is what you can do in this query. You can also add new query of whatever you have done from there. So if you've added new query from this test run, that you have added a filter, you can use that as a query. So with the query too, you can get different test cases. So I can just run and go to this query, add new query, whatever I want to add, work item, what is in the work item, any code review, epic, issues, test plan, test cases, maybe test cases. Run the query. So these are the things I have designed in it. These are the things in the test query. So it will just come out. That's what you can use the query for. So you can add new queries. You can add epic, story, tags, anything you can add into this. You can add a chart too to it. So you can configure a chart to add to it. But all this majorly query is just for you to be able to filter, streamline your test cases. You want to know how many test cases, or if as a test manager, I want to go into to see how many test cases have been covered by you, by Yemi. I'll just go there. I can alter, just check the state of it, look for the stats, and I can see, you can see everything is assigned to me because I'm the one that have been working on this. It's just my own DevOps. So from there, you can just have e-design. If it's someone I invited, of course, the person's name will be shown here. Not to forget, anything you do on any of these defect management tool, they add history. It is recorded. So whatever you're doing, just know that yes, you are actually doing, and you can edit at any time, but you cannot edit the history. You cannot delete the history. It is always there. So whosoever works on a ticket, whatever you have done on a ticket at that time, the date, everything is recorded. It can't be deleted. So cancel. So that's majorly it about that. So yeah, over to you, Patricia.